Oscar Jegou to face disciplinary hearing after alleged eye gouge incident in France's Six Nations loss to Scotland. France flanker Oscar Jegou is set to appear before a disciplinary panel after being cited for an alleged eye gouging incident during France's recent defeat to Scotland national rugby union team in the Six Nations Championship. The incident occurred during the second half of the intense contest at Murrayfield Stadium and has since sparked widespread discussion about player conduct and officiating decisions during the match. The alleged act took place shortly before Scottish winger Darcy Graham crossed the line to score his second try of the match. Television replays later appeared to show Jegou's fingers making contact with the eye area of Scotland replacement hooker Ewan Ashman during a maul situation. While the moment was not penalized during the match itself, the incident has now become the focus of disciplinary proceedings after it was formally cited following the conclusion of the game. Incident escapes on-field review during the match. Neither the referee nor the television match official intervened to review the incident. The game was officiated by Australian referee Angus Gardner, with assistance from the TMO team responsible for monitoring foul play through television replays. Despite the footage later circulating widely, the alleged gouge was either not seen by the officiating team during live play or was deemed insufficient at the time to warrant a stoppage or review. As a result, the match continued without any disciplinary action being taken against Jegou on the field. However, rugby's disciplinary framework allows for incidents to be reviewed retrospectively. After examining the footage post-match, the citing commissioner determined that the situation warranted further investigation and officially cited the French back row forward. Jegou is accused of breaching Law 9.12, one of the sport's most serious conduct regulations, understanding Law 9.12 under the laws governing the sport. Law 9.12 states that a player must not physically or verbally abuse any other person involved in the match. The regulation specifically lists several actions considered forms of physical abuse, including biting, punching, striking with any part of the arm, shoulder, head, or knees, stamping or trampling, tripping or kicking. Contact with the eye or eye contact offenses are treated with particular seriousness in rugby due to the high risk of permanent injury they can cause. As a result, deliberate contact with an opponent's eye is often punished with lengthy suspensions. Jegou will now have the opportunity to present his version of events when he appears before a disciplinary panel scheduled to convene on Tuesday morning. The panel will examine video evidence and hear testimony before deciding whether the player is guilty of foul play and, if so, what sanction should apply to Nigel. Owens criticizes lack of TMO intervention. The incident has also drawn criticism from former international referee Nigel Owens, one of the most respected officials in rugby history. Owens expressed surprise that the situation was not reviewed during the match, stating that the available footage appeared clear enough to at least justify a closer look by the officials. Speaking during a BBC broadcast after the game, Owens said the replay suggested there was clear and obvious evidence that should have prompted intervention from the television match official. According to Owens, the TMO system exists specifically to identify potential acts of foul play that may be missed by the on-field referee during live action. He noted that the footage shown on television appeared concerning and suggested that the action seen could place Jegou in serious disciplinary trouble. Owens explained that even if the officials were uncertain about the severity of the contact, it should still have been brought to the referee's attention for review. That he emphasized that rugby's officiating structure is designed to ensure dangerous play does not go unnoticed, and argued that situations involving the eye area are exactly the type of incidents the TMO should intervene in. Importance of TMO in modern rugby. In modern rugby, the television match official plays a vital role in maintaining player safety and ensuring fair play. The TMO has access to multiple camera angles and can alert the referee to incidents involving foul play that might otherwise go unseen during the fast-paced action on the field. Owens suggested that when footage clearly indicates potentially illegal contact, the TMO should communicate with the referee so that the situation can be assessed immediately. In this particular case, Owens felt that the available footage should have triggered that process. He also highlighted that failing to review incidents of this nature could undermine confidence in the officiating system. Although Owens acknowledged that the incident ultimately did not affect the outcome of the match, he pointed out that in closer contests, such oversights could have significant consequences, potential consequences for Jegou if the disciplinary panel determines that Jegou intentionally made contact with Ashman's eye. He could face a substantial suspension. Eye gouging offenses are considered among the most serious forms of foul play in rugby union. Sanctions for such acts vary depending on several factors, including whether the contact was intentional or reckless, whether the fingers made contact inside the eye or merely around the eye area, the level of force involved, any injury sustained by the opponent, the player's disciplinary record. If the panel concludes that Jegou's fingers entered the eye socket, the punishment could be severe, potentially leading to a lengthy ban. However, if the evidence only proves contact around the eye area rather than inside the eye itself, the sanction may be less significant. The panel must also determine whether the act was intentional or simply reckless during a chaotic maul situation. These distinctions often play a crucial role in determining the length of suspensions handed down in rugby disciplinary hearings. Comparisons with the Ewan Ashman case, the incident involving Jegou has inevitably drawn comparisons with a recent disciplinary case involving Ewan Ashman of the South African national rugby union team. Ashman received a 12-week suspension following an incident during a test match against Wales' national rugby union team in November. During that match, Ashman was judged to have intentionally made contact with the eye of Welsh player Alex Mann. In that case, video footage clearly showed the Springbok lock's thumb making direct contact with Mann's eye, leaving little ambiguity for the disciplinary panel reviewing the incident. As a result, Ashman received one of the longer suspensions typically handed out for such offenses. Differences between the two incidents. While the Ashman case provides a recent precedent, there are key differences between the two situations. The footage involving Jegou has been less definitive than the clips that surfaced in the Ashman case. Although replays appear to show the French forward's fingers around Ashman's eye region, it is not entirely clear whether they actually entered the eye socket. This distinction could prove crucial when the disciplinary panel evaluates the evidence. If the available footage fails to conclusively prove direct eye contact, the panel may opt for a reduced sanction compared with the punishment handed to Ashman. However, if additional camera angles reviewed by the citing commissioner reveal clearer evidence, Jegou could still face a significant suspension. What happens at the disciplinary hearing? When Jegou appears before the disciplinary panel, the hearing will follow a structured process. First, the panel will review all available video evidence, including angles that may not have been shown during the live broadcast. The panel may also examine statements from match officials, medical reports, and any testimony provided by players involved in the incident. Once the evidence has been reviewed, the panel will determine 1. Whether foul play occurred. 2. Whether the action was intentional or reckless. 3. The appropriate sanction if Jegou is found guilty. Sanctions can range from warnings and short bans to lengthy suspensions, depending on the severity of the offense. Wider impact on the Six Nations incidents, such as these, often spark broader conversations about player safety and officiating standards within the Six Nations Championship. The tournament is one of rugby union's most prestigious competitions and attracts intense scrutiny from fans, media, and former players. Any allegations of foul play, particularly those involving the eye area, tend to generate significant debate. Awaiting the panel's verdict for now, the focus shifts to the disciplinary hearing scheduled for Tuesday morning.